Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, Rudy Giuliani's daughter has endorsed Kamala Harris, and she is warning America about the destruction that Donald Trump leaves in his wake. So, this is Caroline Giuliani. She published an opinion piece in Vanity Fair. She's declaring her support for Harris and Walz, and she said, quote, "Watching my dad's life crumble since he joined forces with Trump has been extraordinarily painful, both on a personal level and because his demise feels linked to a dark force that threatens to once again consume America." So Caroline acknowledges that, yeah, her dad bears responsibility for his choices, but she also blames Donald Trump for the, quote, implosion of her father's life. Caroline wrote, quote, "Not to disregard individual accountability in the slightest, but it would be naive for us to ignore the fact that many of those closest to Trump have descended into catastrophic downward spirals. If we let Trump back into the driver's seat this fall, our country will be no exception." And now, sadly, she said, quote, "I've been grieving the loss of my dad to Trump. I cannot bear to lose our country to him too." And then Caroline also praised Kamala Harris. She said she was, quote, "infusing this election with vitality and hope," and, quote, "she has the experience, intelligence, and fortitude to lead us to a brighter future, and seeing her hold Trump accountable in the debate only further confirms her ability to defend us from our most dangerous enemies, domestic and foreign." But here's the most important part of her message, in my opinion, and this is where I think the Democrats, a lot in the media, and advertising groups or marketing groups are failing. So Caroline urged voters to remember what it was like during Trump's presidency. And she said, quote, "I worry that too many Americans remain disconnected from the visceral, psychologically draining memory of Trump's deeply destabilizing presidency. If enough people truly remembered what that chaos felt like, another Trump term wouldn't even be on the table." And then she warned, quote, "The consequences will only be more severe and irreversible a second time around. Thanks to the extremist Supreme Court he stacked, Trump would take office with full immunity, no checks on his power whatsoever. If the president isn't going to be subject to the law like every other citizen, which remains incomprehensible to me, then our president had better have a moral compass." So here's why I think this is so crucial. Although Harris is doing better than Trump is doing with young voters, he's attracting more young voters, especially brand new voters, people that, hadn't voted before, than he did in the last election and in 2016. The only plausible explanation for this is what I've mentioned before. 18 to 21-year-olds were roughly 10 to 13 years old when Trump first took office. They were in elementary and middle school during his first presidency. They weren't paying attention to politics, right? They were paying attention to normal kid stuff. And even if they had some idea of what was going on, their news source was whatever their parents exposed them to. For most kids, their primary social media was TikTok. Politics didn't really become a big thing on TikTok until very recently. So they have no clue what it was like living under the Trump regime, all of that insanity, all of the cruelty. I guarantee if you went out and you talked with Trump's youngest supporters and you said, what are your thoughts on Trump's Muslim ban that he enacted? One of the first things he did in office. Or what do you think about his family separation policy? What do you think about the fact that we still, to this day, have hundreds of children that were taken from their parents and have yet to be reunited with them because Trump literally lost them. He kept no record of them, and they will never see their parents again. Those parents will never see their children again. I guarantee there would be a large percentage of them that wouldn't have any idea what you're talking about. They have no clue that any of that went down. So, if I had a team, if I could afford to hire people, even temporarily, I would be digging up old clips from Trump's first presidency. Not of his racist remarks, not of his sexist remarks, the fallout from his policies, the day-to-day chaos within the White House. Do you remember that, Rachel Maddow had to expand the wall behind her desk to put up all of the people that had left the Trump White House within, the first 6 months or a year? It was unheard of. That is what is going to get through to people. That's what these young voters aren't aware of. That's what has caused all of us to suffer PTSD, which I now refer to as post-Trump stress disorder. Young voters need to be made aware of the people he hurt, of the damage that he caused to humans and to the planet, to the lives he forever destroyed. Those are the things that might impact their votes. Everybody thinks, show them the racist remarks and the good people on both sides. And all. They look at that and they go, it's bombastic rhetoric. They see that as all talk, no action, right? Oh, I don't like some of the things he says, but the economy was so good under Trump. No, they don't remember all the businesses shut down because of his mismanagement of COVID, because he lied. How many people died? How many people died alone in the hospital, unable to see and say goodbye to their loved ones because Trump and his minions were out there lying, saying that the COVID virus was just like a bad flu, that, wasn't a big deal. I was going to be gone by the spring when everything got hot again. It's going to kill it off. And, no problem. Few months, we'll be done with it. And as they say in marketing, show, don't tell. If you're out there preaching to people about this stuff, they're not going to believe you. If they're set on Trump and they know that you are a Kamala Harris supporter, they're not going to believe you. So you have to show it to them. Show them the real-time footage of what was being reported. So, like I said, if I had a whole team, I would be doing it. I would have started months ago. If you're so inclined, if you want to help with something like this, dig up the clips yourself, dig up the old news articles yourself, post them on your social media feeds, or you can send them to me. Anything from his reign of terror, send them to support@rawnewsandpolitics.com, and I will put them on the feed. But yeah, those are the things that are going to make a difference. People reliving that chaos, that insanity that we all lived through, remembering what it was like. It's kind of like when you break up with someone and, it's been a while, you haven't seen them, you haven't spent time with them, and then you start remembering only the good things. And then you spend some time with them and you're like, ugh, yeah, okay, I remember why we broke up. I remember why I hate you. Why I never want to see you again. So that's what we need to do. We need to remind them of their ex. In this case, our collective ex. All right. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with everyone you know, so maybe they can pitch in and they can remember things that went down. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm to get more eyeballs on this and to build up the show so I can get better guests on, more high-profile guests. The more subscribers I have, the more interested they'll be in coming on. And if you can donate, truly appreciate it. It helps to keep the show going. So love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.